welcome to MegoMuseum's Vintage Mego. This week we're going to talk about one of Mego's most successful, if not the most successful playset they ever produced, in the form of the Mego Star Trek USS Enterprise Action Playset. This wonderful cardboard and vinyl set is probably also one of Mego's most famous creations, definitely very memorable. So let's give a little bit of a backstory in Mego's relationship with Star Trek. Mego's acquisition of the Star Trek license is credited mainly to VP of Research and Development Neil Kublin, who noticed his young son Chris watching reruns of the show when he came home. He approached Marty Abrams about the license, who was mildly skeptical, but Kublin convinced him that the canceled TV show from the 1960s might have some potential and appeal with children. According to Kublin, once Marty Abrams gave his blessing, he didn't interfere. He let you have full creative control. This philosophy was really key to Mego's success at the time. The Mego team set to work creating action figures of the crew, initially just the male characters, and the enemy Klingon, again, adding someone they can fight. Also on the table was a playset, and for the premiere set, they chose the most iconic element of Star Trek, the bridge. This playset was produced in Brooklyn, New York, as it is more cost-effective to produce toys at the time in the United States like this. There's some really funny stories about the factory that are in the latest issue of Toy Ventures if you're interested. However, the bridge wasn't merely a fold-up vinyl carry case. It had a unique special gimmick and one that didn't require batteries. The transporter mechanism allowed kids to simulate beaming down to a planet with a very simple chamber that spun around and made it look like the figures disappeared. This item is breathtaking in both its simplicity and how darn fun it was. The creator of the transporter mechanism goes to an outside designer by the name of John McNett, who Mego would then hire and make director of design for the company. He also said that he had a lot of free range and creativity during his days at Mego. McNett would go on to invent other toys for Mego, such as the unproduced Tribble, the Tricorder, Mazzaroni, A Very Close Game, Commander Zack Power, and the Denny Fisher Power Action Superman. What's really terrific about the Bridge playset is we get a very rare look at its early development, thanks to department store catalogs and promotional photography. This is really rare to see something in different stages. This shot from the action figure card back and the 1975 catalog shows a really early transporter that has straps made out of black tape, like electrical tape. The chamber would be modified later so the figures wouldn't fly out, but you can really see the process here. The chamber also has a red sticker, which would be changed to yellow. The figures don't seem to have all their insignias. The set itself is unlaminated cardboard. The console is gray. It has no sticker graphics. Captain Kirk is sitting in a green chair. And most tellingly, a large drawing of the Salt Vampire is on the view screen. The Salt Vampire graphic is awesome, but it actually never made it to the production version. This 1976 Montgomery Ward page, by the way, this set was in every department store catalog this year, has some interesting tells. It's our playset, but it's also not. The console now has a black and white decal on it, but the design is very rough. It's more aviation and less science fiction, if that makes sense. The view screen is now rectangular, and the sample image is similar to one of the final choices, but not quite there. The walls are still not detailed, and the color seems more subdued. Given the potential variations in printing and photography, the color of this item may be exactly the same as others, but we're seeing an experiment in desaturating the candy-colored playset, getting closer to the TV color counterpart. It's hard to say, but the colored stripes are in place, and we may simply be seeing a variation of a work in progress. The transporter also seems to have a more narrow door, but it's hard to tell because of the angle. What we can say is this is not finished. The 1975 Sears catalog from Canada gives another little interesting tidbit. One of the most interesting elements presented in all these images is a completely different captain's chair from the one we got from this, and the one that actually looks like one from the series. This one sports a round pedestal and it lacks that square shape. It's almost looks like it's a chair from a barber shop or a salon. A version of this did make it out there. It's changed a bit, but it's in the Walton store, and I think it is a barber chair. The green captain's chair can also be found on the final chair shape as pictured on the Enterprise box itself. I guess it's the last clue in the evolution of this playset. The console decals have been finalized, but they're on a grayish unit that did not see production. The main view screen image is yet another illustration that isn't actually available.
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by Mego.
So let's take a look at what the final set looks like. Now, this is not show accurate by any means. As I explained in my Star Trek Aliens video, Mego was using a tremendous amount of artistic license.
Turn down for what?
That led for this set to look familiar, but it's still basically a fun toy. It's very colorful. The bridge unfolds to 23 inches long and has the previously mentioned transporter chamber with an exit door out the back so you can simulate beaming down to the planet. It comes with a captain's chair, which is now light blue. The console is a large yellow table, it's sometimes blue, which almost resembles the navigation console, save for the large, computer on top and 2 stools for the crew instead of those cool office chairs. The view screen has 3 swappable double-sided cards that allow a child to have different adventures. Some of the cards seem to call back to Star Trek episodes, but they don't seem terribly concerned with getting it too accurate. The blueprint on the box suggests that the other side of the bridge, the little closet there, is meant to be the engine room. So I guess that's where you put Mr. Scott. It looks like Bones and Uhura just get to stand around. There are several variations of packaging for the Enterprise bridge. The first most commonly found is the American box. This is the largest package. Second, and much harder to find, is the gift set package, which includes 5 figures and has minor graphic changes from the regular set. You'll notice it's yellow. Third would be the catalog mailer box. These are especially difficult to find. These are a real niche collectible for people. Some people, that's their whole thing, is mailer boxes. Then we have the Canadian box from Parkdale Novelty. This is bilingual, so it has a French side and an English side to represent the country's 2 official languages. This set was apparently also sold in France and in Germany by McToy, but no special packaging has ever been found. It's largely just the Parkdale box, I assume. In the United Kingdom, Palitoy sold the transporter mechanism by its lonesome, and I've done a video of that right here. The bridge playset was a big hit for Mego. They actually thought about doing a sequel. This deluxe version was with slightly more show accurate and even had a medical bay. This mock-up was for Toy Fair 1977 and it never made it into production. 1977 would also be the last year for Mego's Star Trek line. Not due to poor sales, far from it, but because Paramount wanted Mego to sell the product down and focus on the upcoming movie items. This led to another final variation of the bridge many collectors remember fondly. Empty bridge playsets with no furniture or transporter were bundled with a Kirk and Spock figure and sold at closeout stores. Some people even remember buying these at grocery stores. You can see my video on the closeout Enterprise set here. The bridge would return to collectors in 2010 when Diamond, in cooperation with MC Toys, would re-release the set in a rather faithful recreation. MC founder Paul, Dr. Mego Clark, told me once he initially pitched to Diamond that they should update the graphics and make it more show accurate. But Diamond wanted to recreate the original Mego magic. This is something of a collectible in of itself these days. Just a quick plug for my endeavor of Toy Ventures magazine. We're trying to bring back the old school print toy magazine with deep dives into toys like this. Next month's issue has a huge interview with Marty Abrams about the Mego Planet of the Apes line. So if you like this channel, please consider our publication. The links are below, and if you pre-order right now, you can get a free Mr. Rock Cosmic Space Flyer. Thank you very much. On the secondary market, the Mego Star Trek Bridge playset isn't that difficult to find due to its extreme popularity and overall durability. It is, however, very desirable. A lot of people want this set. So the price, it's reasonable. It's not crazy. It is a very popular toy. There's a lot of people who fondly remember it. It's a lot of Star Trek fans. Now, with Mego coming back, a lot of people have wondered if the Bridge playset will return. And there's, of course, no answer on that. I don't think there's a no, but it would have to be supported by a retailer. What do you think? Would you want a new show-accurate Bridge, or would you want a straight, faithful recreation of the original Mego one? Let me know in the comments, or you can hit me up at our Facebook group, MegoMania. I'm super curious. Thank you again for watching. If you're new to this, I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. This is the kind of content we do all the time. Until next time, take care, be well, and talk toys, not others. Cheers.